Geekdom Movies.
Welcome to Geekdom Movies, and we have a special guest. Shannon's fiance Rob is here with us. First time doing a review with us.
Was I supposed to get my makeup done somewhere around here?
Yeah, we just got out of really more like a Shazam sequel. All right, so this movie takes place. It starts off with you learn that The Rock is a slave in the past somewhere, thousands of years ago. This is not spoiler because if you've seen the trailers, it's in it.
Okay.
He somehow comes into the Shazam power. Doesn't really show exactly how, but you're aware like somehow he was able to get the Shazam powers. If you've seen Shazam, you know you have to say Shazam, and then you become,
Shazam,
yeah. Right. So I guess like the story kind of says like he is the original Shazam. Somehow, some way, like he got imprisoned. We don't know why, but then it like jumps like 5,000 years into the future, and the Rock is now like living in our world or close enough to it. Like we don't know for sure, but it's definitely not 5,000 years ago. Maybe like 10 years ago.
He like dies, and they pull him out of the ground in a tomb.
Yeah, like he died or got imprisoned. I think he got imprisoned. He didn't die. He just got imprisoned in the Shazam. Like he was just like in the ground, I guess.
One part I was confused on was if he did it to himself.
No, because it shows the witch guy. There's a black wizard from Shazam who gives them powers, and it you kind of see him imprison like Black Adam.
Okay.
So we do know that he didn't strip the power. He just made it so he couldn't like get out, I guess, for like thousands of years. In this movie, something happens that awakes him. There's a boy and his mom, and they're looking for some kind of treasure to save their people, but instead they undo the magic of Black Adam. And Black Adam, of course, The Rock comes and he's just like, what are these weapons and stuff? That it's like, I love the line where he goes, this is terrible magic, because he catches the bullet and he's like, seriously, like you guys go backwards in magic or something? I thought that was just really funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, and the part that I did not see coming, the Justice Society is in this movie with Dr. Fate, Hawkman. I forgot the other two. Like,
is that a spoiler?
No, it wasn't the trailer.
Okay.
But you saw them, like if you saw the trailers, you saw Pierce Brosnan who plays 007 and like GoldenEye and all those old 007 movies, and you got to see a little bit. Like what I really appreciated was that Dr. Fate storyline, which I think we were talking about without going into spoilers. I really liked Pierce Brosnan's character here.
He was good.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
you liked Dr. Fate?
Yeah.
So
Really? He didn't have much of a role here.
No, but his powers and like the way they introduced him, and he's the original. If you guys have read the comics, we have Doctor Strange in the Marvel universe, of course, but the original Doctor Strange was actually first started by Dr. Fate.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
But it's the same character. It's the exact same
it feels
character.
like very similar. They're both British. They both have the same
dimension
cost.
hop. They're both
Like
doctors.
they have
both
magic.
See the future. They both tell you how you're gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe not that part. Maybe we'll cut that part out. That might be spoiler. But Dr. Fate does have portal jumping and future prophecy and all the things the doctors with magic, and even the costume feels like an upgraded Doctor Strange costume to me.
I was gonna say that of all the DC movies I've seen, this one felt the most like a Marvel movie. This one had like the collaboration between all the different superhero characters. Do you guys think the same thing?
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
But the doctor didn't even have like that many lines, but the words that he said were like super powerful.
Can you think of any in particular that hit you?
Not without going into spoilers.
Okay, fair enough.
most
I'll be
most
honest about
of
that
what Dr. Fate says, you're right. It
Yeah.
is majority like
yeah.
yeah, and that's probably why they kept him like away from the trailers. You got glimpses of Dr. Fate and Hawkman and like Justice Society, but never like really. It was focused on Black Adam, The Rock, and I think that really what the trailer needed to be about. Because if you like Rock, if you like Shazam, you want to see the original Shazam. The trailers kind of made it kind of very centered on that. Yeah, if you watch the trailers, it should be focused on, I feel like, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and how the original Shazam got his powers and what happened. That story they did a really good job before they introduced the Justice Society. I felt like they did a really good job with just introducing the Rock. Like, majority of the movie is just the Rock and like his point of
The
view.
first 20 minutes of The Rock, I was going, wow, he's actually playing a kind of a different character here. And then,
Because I felt the opposite.
but then after 20 minutes of him, I was like, oh no, he's just The Rock again.
My take of it was like, I was like, oh great, this is another typical Dwayne Johnson movie, and I wasn't a fan of it. But then a little after the halfway mark, I was like, oh my gosh, this is his best work yet.
You liked the family stuff, my guess.
No, it wasn't the family stuff. It was even like normally he goes into a movie and it's like cheesy fighting. You know he's gonna win.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This was very different, and it had different stories behind what he was typically fights for.
Okay. Interesting.
No, you're right. Like, this is not a typical character or character arc for The Rock, and he definitely made it as unique as possible away from his like jungle adventures that he does from Jumanji to, we just saw, what did we just see? Jungle Cruise.
So that was a good movie. Yeah,
that was a good
Jungle
movie.
Cruise.
But like, I feel like he's trying really hard to say, hey guys, like, this is not a jungle adventure where I'm charismatic and happy and making jokes every 10 seconds like he is.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I'm
right.
saying?
He did have a different role.
I mean, he was still funny, but it was like dry humor funny. He had like one liner.
Catchphrase, then kill. Yeah.
I was kind of more focused on Black Adam, and then when they started amping up the Justice Society, their whole like base, their plane, and how they kind of, I mean, it was like watching in a way like the X-Men, kind of just like how like you got introduced to the X-Men. Not that Justice Society is anything like the X-Men, but like they had like a core group of like people who did superhero stuff, and like Dr. Fate, Hawkman or Hawkeye, I don't know.
It was Hawkman. It must have been, because we already have a Hawkeye, right?
I mean, we do, but I just forgot his name. Really, maybe it was
Hawk
something.
Who had a great costume. The costumes in this movie were great.
Did you hear the girl behind me when Hawkeye, when the actor is like, man, that guy's way too good looking.
I know.
And I was like, you know what? You're right. That African American actor looks really good.
He was ripped. Yeah.
Yeah, and
they
then
covered up his face, and he still looked good.
I liked the two young, like the Adam who like became big like Ant-Man. And small.
And the girl. I liked the girl. I wanted her to have more screen time.
And the girl had like colors and tornado.
Best costume. I feel like her character was so underused.
Like something out of Disney.
She'll probably get her own movie or like a much bigger role in the next movie.
She fit that role so well.
She was great. Yeah.
No, I actually just want a Justice Society movie now. After this, I know that's spoilers. I won't.
She looked like she walked right out of a comic book from the 80s.
Yeah, you're right. That's very true. I was just thinking actually, wow, they bought blankets to go to the movies. That's actually
smart. Yeah, it's always cold in there.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, so for me, I would say I think I enjoyed this a little less than Shazam, but still enjoyed it a lot. Shazam felt like a closed story where it didn't drag. Without going to spoilers, I'll just say this movie drags a little bit. I would have cut maybe like 20 minutes, and it would have been perfect. I
think it was perfect
for you. Okay,
for the time wise.
Well, let me finish, then go to Shannon, and go to you. Then everybody gets their talk. Just I really enjoyed this. I think The Rock is like fantastic here. He really is like the presence on screen, and every time he's on screen, like you're never bored. I think there is a moment in the movie where he's not on screen, and I totally feel the lack of, The Rock's not in this. Suddenly it doesn't feel as interesting, is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's spoilers, so I can't really tell you why he's not, but that 20-minute could have been like 20-30 minutes, could have just, instead of 2 hours and 10 minutes, you could have made it 1 hour and 40 minutes and just kind of like lowered the length for me. But even with that, those are my minor little things. The bad guy in the end kind of felt forced and weird to me, but not enough to take me out of the movie. These are like, I'm just nitpicking here.
Yeah.
The whoever this big villain is they fight, if you saw Wonder Woman or like any of these like DC movies, they always do like this random like big like explosion like fight with this random villain. I didn't like that about Wonder Woman. I definitely don't like it here. But both Wonder Woman and this movie have a very good character that you can root for. I wasn't bored. I was definitely entertained. I definitely want more Doctor Fate if we can help it.
Yeah, more. I'd have it. He could have his own movie, Doctor Fate.
Yeah, I think Pierce Brosnan like just killed that
he did
role.
great.
Like honestly, in my head I was going, I wonder what it'd be like for Doctor Strange and Doctor Fate to meet. That was what I was
that would be-
thinking.
That would be interesting.
And so, who wants Man of Steel versus Superman versus Batman? No, I want Doctor Strange versus Doctor
Or
Fate. That would be a bonkers.
That would be like
man.
that would be bonkers. No,
Ugh.
like the whole mirrors thing that I mean, there's
You
just
could-
so much.
You
You
need
could
that.
do
that,
so much.
That would have to be directed by the guy who directed Interstellar, because you'd need like Inception level
Christopher Nolan.
directing and Inception. Yeah, you would need like that kind of level of thought behind it in order to
For it to,
make a
like-
movie with Doctor Fate versus Doctor Strange.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really I love the kid. I love the family story. There's some twists that do come at the end that I actually really like. I like the twist and like where the movie went. Like and there's a twist with Doctor Fate. There's a twist with The Rock. There's
There's a lot of twists in this movie.
I didn't
which I
see 'em
wasn't
coming.
expecting. Yeah, yeah. Well, I was kind of just sold on an action movie. So
Yeah.
when the twist came, you're like, wait, what?
What a twist!
What a twist!
What a
But-
twist!
Overall, I would say highly recommended if you like Shazam. If you like superhero movies like DC, I think you'll have a really. I mean, it's not a great movie, but I had
Yeah,
fun.
I agree. I think it wasn't like the best movie I've ever seen or the best superhero movie I've ever seen. Like, there's better superhero movies, there's better action movies. But the things that I did well, I did really, really well. I particularly liked the costuming. I think that
Oh yeah.
you're gonna see a lot of Halloween costumes out of this year.
Oh.
I think people are gonna throw away what they already had for Halloween, and they're gonna go out and buy the green and the black and white striped costume for the Tornado Girl.
Oh
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
amazing.
She actually looked like that Disney Moana, maybe. I don't know. I can't.
She
think of-
looked like she could have played Little Mermaid in the new Black Little Mermaid movie. 'Cause she had
Mhm,
like the
mhm.
red hair and everything.
Oh, she did. Oh,
No,
you
but
picked up on that. I did
She
not.
had red hair, yeah.
Oh.
Well, in some of when she transformed into the superhero girl, she had red hair.
Oh, okay.
And I only
See, I would
noticed
never
that.
pick
I
up that
didn't- I didn't
detail.
pick up
Yeah.
Really? I only noticed that because I was like, man, that's gonna make Halloween costumes that much harder.
No,
But
you're not
I actually thought for a second when she came on screen, I went, is that Willow Smith? Because
Yeah,
it
you said
looks
that.
like
I was
her.
like, it kind of looks like her. Then I googled it. It was some, but she does. You're right. She does look
yeah.
like her. Yeah.
But I feel
The
like they would
the
have given her
teen
a much
adult version of her.
bigger role and made
If-
a much bigger deal out of it
if it was Willow Smith.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
Uh-huh.
true. Yeah. What did you think of The Rock?
I mean, The Rock is always The Rock, right? Like you know exactly what you're getting, and that's what we got here. He did. I think he did some stuff a little bit more serious than he usually does, which is
Oh yeah.
it's a nice thing to see him like trying to push outside of his box a little bit, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's The Rock. I think he was the right person to play this. If you want the strongest man in the world, you put Dwayne The Rock Johnson in there.
That's true.
Funniest part in this whole movie is when they like slapped him across the face with a crowbar and it just bent the crowbar.
Did you see me almost choke? Like
Yeah,
when,
you about died.
'cause I was not ready. I was like literally. It's in the trailer, so it's not spoiler. But I still wasn't ready for it. Like I was in the middle of sipping it, and like this dude just comes up and tries to hit a crowbar on The Rock's
The Rock's
head,
head.
and it bends, and he just looks at it,
And
and
he
then he
just
just
blinks.
throws him like
Throws
across
the
the
guy.
ocean. Yeah,
Throws the man go.
it's so that yeah, you're right. No, that was entertaining.
I never would have seen it if I wasn't watching it for a review.
That's how it usually goes, right?
Of the movies I've seen with you, this is middle of the road. It's not too boring. It wasn't too exciting. But I'm not
Yeah.
an action movie person, so that's me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were enjoying it. I could tell.
I definitely laughed a few
yeah.
times. I got a couple good laughs out of it. I think about 2/3 of the way through, I started to zone out a little when they got
I think
into
I was
some
there.
other.
I was
Yeah,
there. I was
there
like,
were some
"Oh,
couple
come
points
on."
where I went, "Oh yeah, I'm at a movie. I gotta watch the movie."
It had an
but-
ending without an ending. Like there was a middle point where I was like, "Oh, this is the ending." So I was getting ready to get up.
I had that same feeling too.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
talk about it because it's spoilers, but there was like that moment where I was like, "Oh, okay." So I guess that's it. And then I was getting up and they're like, "Oh no, there's another 20-30 minutes." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like what's going on
But at
here?
the same time, the movie also kind of needed it for the story that I was telling at the beginning too.
I needed the time.
It needed that additional time to kind of like close out what it started.
Yeah, I think they could have cut
yeah.
out 2 or 3 fight scenes. There was funny when he had the. Well, I won't go into spoilers. There was some funny stuff in the fight scenes, but I think they dragged a little. Although they looked great. I mean, the CGI was awesome, and
Yeah.
I almost forgot it was CGI.
Right. The mic is
I don't
outside.
want to say too much more without going into spoilers. Rob, what did you think?
Oh, recommend it?
If you're into superhero movies, you're gonna like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like The Rock, yeah.
I think if you like Shazam, you'd enjoy this movie more, I think, because it's kind of setting up more of Shazam's story later. With the...
Yeah, and I did like the little boy with the skateboard was awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Like I
that's
would have
your-
watched the
he
whole
was fun.
movie just about him riding his
And his
skateboard.
mom. Okay,
Yeah,
can I
his mom was
I
great.
have something to say about spoilers, but I can't say it. All right, Rob,
Okay,
go
Rob.
ahead.
I really like this movie. I would recommend it.
Okay.
Even if you haven't seen any of the other DC movies or anything like that, this has like its own like little storyline, I guess you would say, to itself. But it also does tie into other DC movies, which
Mhm.
was very nice. So also, I really like the message that they were getting across that you can have two good guys, kind of.
Oh,
I didn't
interesting.
catch
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So you have two different sides that are fighting for good, but
Okay.
different ways to do it.
I see what you're saying.
yeah. We can't talk too much, but I get what you're. He's like the Rock's kind of like the anti-hero more than a
Correct.
hero.
He's
hero.
the Walter
Correct.
White of yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting. I really like the storyline.
Really? Okay. So you enjoyed it more than you thought you were going to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you hadn't
Um,
even seen the
The previous Shazam or DC
yeah.
movie.
And I want to. I don't want. It's not a prequel, but you haven't even seen the sequel to this movie.
Right. Yeah. What else? What else you got, Rob? Anything else?
Again, The Rock, totally different role. Best job I think I've ever seen Dwayne Johnson ever play.
Okay, I would agree with that. This was a good role for him.
The Doctor was hilarious. That was my favorite
Oh,
part.
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate. I could not stop laughing with Dr. Fate.
Some of his lines. There was a scene where he's just like, "Did they not have doors?"
Yes,
in
that's,
like.
that's what I was just gonna say.
Oh really? It's
That
not
was
really a
funny.
spoiler. That's why I'm saying it. It's just kind of like a funny line.
I was thinking that the entire time.
And The Rock's like, "No, we have doors. That's how we use them."
That's how we enter rooms.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. No, I think we can all say we definitely all enjoyed it. I think Rob definitely enjoyed it more than me and Shannon, which is totally fine. I definitely enjoyed it. I think Shazam's a better movie, but I had fun. I don't think it could have been a little shorter, but overall, I had a really fun time. Shannon kind of agrees. I feel like in similarities, like it's a fun movie, but you probably like Shazam more. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, Shazam was way better than this.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious though, Rob, because like Fahad and I have to watch a lot of movies for this podcast, and we watch so many movies that we're kind of growing numb to them. At least I feel it that way. But you don't watch as many movies, so do you feel like when you do get to watch a movie, it's like a much better experience for you? Because or do you feel like maybe that impacted your liking this movie a lot more, or do you just think it was a good movie?
I feel like you guys put a lot of work into watching movies and a lot of time and effort into it. Whereas when I watch a movie, I sit back and I relax and I enjoy it.
I don't
Yeah,
even know
that's
how
true.
to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how.
No, yeah, but
Nor
that's
would I
why
want to.
that's why we have a lot of homework, right? Like that's why we made our channel. But
Yeah.
That's why you guys need to like and subscribe.
We put a lot of hours into this.
yes, we do put a lot of hours, a lot of
A
hours.
lot of
I've
hours.
seen it firsthand.
Oof, man. Yeah, like we're gonna go into spoilers. Not a lot to say, but I'm gonna go into a more in-depth spoilers with George on Tuesday. But we'll do like a tiny bit, like a 5-10 minute spoiler thing, and just kind of be done. The thing that we just have to talk about, I feel like, is the Superman cameo. That was
amazing.
Yeah,
I did
that
not
was-
see it coming. I was ready for Suicide Squad characters to come on
well.
screen.
So what happened to me was, and I kind of told you guys this. Like I went to, we were watching Hocus Pocus 2,
Yeah.
and I had to go to the bathroom, and I was just kind of like scrolling
Oh.
while sitting in the bathroom because what else do I do
Yep.
using the bathroom, right? And then somebody was like, "Holy crap, Superman's and blah blah blah," like Black Adam. I'm like, "Oh come on! Like, are you serious right now?"
You knew it was coming.
I told George, and
that's
George is like, "Why did
so-
you tell me?"
I
Because I'm like,
know, I'm
somebody
so
has
glad
to
you didn't
feel
tell
my
me.
pain. You did hear it, but you forgot about it actually.
Oh, I
'cause you
probably didn't care. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like even though I knew Superman was in it, I didn't know if he was gonna be in the movie. Is it gonna be like a cameo later? I didn't know what they were gonna do.
Okay.
And the like, it's like good luck because nobody on this planet can beat me. So
And I thought Suicide Squad had some aliens in it. That's
I
what
think they do, yeah. But like,
yeah.
but it was just a funny line. He's like, nobody on this planet. It's like, oh, I'm not getting somebody from this planet. And the Rock's like, bring it on. And then you just see
He
Superman
said
just
send
like
them all.
send them all, yeah. And then you just see Superman's cloud, like there's like a fog thing, and he comes into view, and he's like, Black Adam, we need to talk. And you just see the Rock smile, and then it just ends. And like for me, like I don't nerd out. Like it takes a lot these
you
days.
do.
Nah, it
You
has.
nerd
It's
out
been a
over
minute.
every movie that comes out.
Okay, nerd out. I mean, like actually get like freaking like excited where I like throw my hands up and freak out. I don't think that has happened at all this year for me.
This year, I haven't seen you do that.
Yeah,
Last year it was like every movie.
I feel
every
like
big Marvel movie.
the only movie that I like geeked out about was the one I didn't see with you, which was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That was so good. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
like
I
that was
loved
the
that
one
movie.
that me and George was like, this movie is bonkers. Like, what is
was-
happening? There's a bagels. Everything's on the bagel. Like like that was the last time that really like I feel like it hit me in
Mhm.
that level. Like I have seen Hawkeye, Hawkman, whatever he is from DC, and it's a white guy. And I was gonna say like the African American who played Hawkman, Hawkeye, whatever, like he was really good. Like I don't care if it works. That's what I'm saying. Like Chris Pratt might work as Mario because like sometimes you can switch characters, and like have a different actor, and you might not be like, well that's that. But like when you watch it, like you're like, oh wait no, he's doing just fine. Like he doesn't need
Yeah.
to be white. And I was really thinking about that while watching Hawkman. I don't know. Whatever. Hawkeye is Marvel. That's why I gotta stop saying it. Hawkeye is Marvel.
Yeah, that's what I
that's-
was saying earlier. So we already have
okay,
a
okay.
Hawkeye. His name's not Hawkeye.
So that makes sense as to why he's black then, because you don't want to. But then again, Doctor Fate is basically Doctor
was
British
he
guy.
black in the comic books?
No,
He wasn't.
he was like
Well, they need more
white.
diversity. They're gonna throw people. His race probably didn't matter, so they just picked somebody.
I don't think it does either. Somebody can correct me. Maybe Hawkeye is black for all I know, and I just never noticed. Or Hawkman, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
it doesn't matter. But I really like the Justice Society. I thought
This movie brought them together in a way that I hadn't seen before.
right.
And I didn't expect them to ever come together like this.
Right, and I like the two young kids who are kind of like internshipping as superheroes.
Yeah,
In
they were the
the-
best. They were
They were
great.
hilarious.
They were the
at
best.
beginning. They were
Yeah.
super hilarious.
Yeah, and you could tell like they're building up like this romance chemistry between them.
Oh yeah.
Or is
I
that
w-
just me?
At the end, I
No,
was
yeah,
like,
you can
"Kiss the
definitely
girl."
Yeah, I felt that. I thought the other twist that really worked for me was like his son was Shazam and the son saved his dad, which was The Rock.
Yes.
And like
Oh, so
I
sad.
did not see that coming.
I was like, I can see why he's angry. It kind of like clicked, because in the beginning you just see The Rock with the Shazam like original costume
Right.
come in and try to kill the king, but it wasn't until later you realize why, because like the boy, his son, was the real hero, and when his son died and his wife died, he was just like, well, my world's ended. I have nothing here but to like murder everyone that I don't agree with. And he kind of went on this like, I mean, who wouldn't at that point, right? Like if your family died and you have superpowers and the person who killed you is a king or something, you probably wouldn't have. I mean, it made sense in the context of the movie, like why Black Adam is like angry, right? Or is
Right.
that just me?
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
You do pick up on it pretty easily.
Yeah. And it was kind of an interesting twist that the statue was his son and not The Rock. And you're like,
Okay, listen.
we
I
noticed that.
shouted it in the theater. I went, "It didn't look like him." I said that. I was like, "The statue
That's-
didn't
that's
look
what I
like
was-
The Rock."
I'm like, how did you pick up on that? It just looks like a rock statue. Like,
No, it just didn't look like The Rock.
Well, like there had to be a reason. Like when there had to be a reason why he was staring at it the way that he was staring at it.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't pick up on that.
That's when I started questioning it.
Oh, interesting. I mean, if there was a giant statue of me, I'd stare at it all the time. I'm not
He's
gonna
like,
lie.
it's me.
Like,
You already do that with the mirror.
I'm so famous. I look so good.
I mean, and you guys make good points. I like that. I felt it felt a little forced, but the whole political thing for me, like, oh yeah, like why are you foreigners coming into the Middle East? Like it just keep politics. Not that they're saying anything wrong. It's just like did it feel forced or was that just me?
I was wondering the same thing, but I think it had to do more with what I said earlier, where like you have these two good guys. with different point of views.
Okay.
And I think they're trying to tie that into that as well.
Like how it like you don't need a white knight like they were saying like Justice Society or like Superman. You need somebody from their land who can protect them from their people or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
So like you have good guy A, good guy B.
Yeah.
They have different point of views,
Different methodologies and different philosophies
correct.
on how to be a good guy. Okay.
but they still have the same goal of how to make the world better.
And then the mom was like, "You're all gonna work together, damn it! Like you are going to work together. I
She
don't
was the
care
heart,
that you
yeah.
She was the
that you
heart.
disagree. You're gonna make this happen,
Right.
and you're gonna save my son." And then they all have to get on the same page, even though they disagree.
Right.
But you think they were mirroring that with the politics stuff in the made up?
well, kind of like with what's
what was the world
with
called?
like stuff that's going
Some
on
like
today.
Africa, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought they were in the Middle East.
Yeah,
Middle
Africa
East,
is.
yeah.
Oh
Well,
wait.
They were
kind
It
of-
looked Egypt.
That's
Yeah,
what
it
I
felt
was getting- that's
Egypt.
what
It
I
didn't
was-
it was
feel.
Egypt. Yeah, it was
Like it
Egypt.
didn't feel like. I mean, it could have been. I don't
Egypt,
actually know.
close enough to be in the Middle East. Close enough.
I mean, they're right next to
Yeah.
each other, so you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But like, it felt more like Egypt to me. You're right. Than like a
It was called
country.
Kazakh? Kahek? Kahek? It was
I'm
something.
not gonna try.
They
to
said
even
the
say
name
it.
of the
Yeah.
city like 100 times, and I was like, "But where is it? Tell me where it is."
But wait, there's more. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think I'm excited to see. I mean, the Shazam 2 trailer looks great. So who knows if Black Adam shows up in that or not? Probably not for now. I'm guessing maybe like Shazam 3 or like later they'll have like the Rock fight Superman and Shazam eventually.
This was kind of a heavier movie. I'm ready for a fun movie. I just
Well,
want to
Shazam-
laugh. I just want to
Shazam-
laugh again.
Shazam looks like a fun. Well,
That's
the first
gonna be a
one-
blast.
I mean, the first movie was fun. I felt like just
It-
like very kidsy. Like you picture this like big like guy who looks like a superhero, and but like it's a little kid,
Yeah.
and that concept was so much fun. And I feel like they're keeping that concept going for Shazam too, because like in the line in the trailer, he's like, "Because it's about I've seen all the Fast and Furious movies, and it's about
family.
guys.
Family.
Come on,
That was the signal.
that was the signal,
That
right?"
was so good. About family.
I know it looks fantastic. I want to see the Super Shazam family now. Everybody's gonna be Shazam
Me
these days
too.
because like you get to see all the other little kids. It's like, where are you guys going? Like their foster parents, and he's like, "We're gonna go fight crime." Okay.
And they're like a little 8-year-olds.
Yeah, it's so cute. But yeah. Oh well, I think we've. Did you guys have anything to add before we move on and just kind of see the next movie?
I'm ready for The Rock versus Superman.
Yeah.
Rob's here for that.
I'm curious to see how that turns out. Is it going to be typical Dwayne Johnson style, or is there going to be a plot twist?
I'm sure there's gonna be a plot
What a
twist.
twist.
It's a twist.
What a twist.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys for checking out our review. Of course, we're gonna do another extended spoiler review with George, and I'll have that up later next week. Rob, thank you for stepping in and helping us out this
Anytime.
week.
Anytime.
I hope you had fun,
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
let us know what movie you're most excited for up and coming.
dude. It's Black
Mario,
Panther and
Chris
Avatar for
Pratt.
me. Mario's next year. So I wish I could be. For me, it's like I got 2 movies left in me. I got Black Panther and I got Avatar, and that's it. Like
For
I
the
think
whole
there's
year. There's nothing else coming out? What's a slow
nothing
year?
that I really, there's
This
that
is
Disney
usually
movie.
when they pound out all of the Oscar movies.
You
Where
know,
are the Oscar movies?
Every Thanksgiving, they have that big trailer that gets you so excited for the Disney movie for the holidays.
I know.
Last
Where's
year
that
we had
Disney movie?
Encanto or Frozen.
Year before that it was Frozen 2.
No, I saw the. Did you see the trailer? Well, I'll show you the trailer, the new Disney movie. But it did not
There's a new
interest
Disney
me.
movie.
Yeah, that's coming out Thanksgiving.
Okay, the
I'm gonna
Encanto
show.
trailer didn't interest me at all. And I loved Encanto.
That's true. So okay, I'll watch this review. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm gonna watch the new Disney trailer that's coming out for Thanksgiving, and maybe we'll watch it. We'll definitely at least check it out and see what Shannon has to say. But for now, we'll see you guys next time. Check out me and George's review. I'll leave a link here somewhere for the extended spoiler review. We'll be back with Black Panther 2, maybe Disney movie if Shannon says it's worth watching, and of course the biggest movie of the year. We're all just waiting for Avatar. Everybody wants to talk about Avatar.
I got my 3D glasses ready to go. I got the
That trailer's
popcorn.
beautiful, isn't it? That trailer, man.
When I saw it, I said, I hope it's better in 3D. I said, I hope this movie is
I think that's the plan, right?
Because-
So yeah.
because the experience of seeing Avatar for the first time in 3D 10 years ago was so incredible.
So are you ready for the Shannon?
Unforgettable.
Shannon,
I hope it
she
lives
doesn't
up
know
to the
this.
hype.
She doesn't know this, but I'm gonna tell her and see what her reaction face
Oh
does.
no, what?
Avatar 2 will be the first IMAX 3D movie that isn't gonna be with glasses. They're making
Wait, what?
yes, and
Shut up. That's not a thing.
and we're gonna go, guys. We're gonna go to Henry Ford, and we're gonna experience the first ever in history
All right.
the 3D movie.
I'm there.
That'll be
You
sweet.
do.
I'm in for that one too.
We need to get our tickets now because that's gonna sell the hell out.
You know, and that's the thing. It's coming out during Christmas. I'm gonna wait for those tickets to be available. I am gonna take my time because that is an event. The first
It's a
IMAX
huge
3D
event.
without 3D glasses.
I don't think that was even possible.
The only
Right.
thing that would make it better is if they shoot mist at you when like you're in over a
Oh,
water
like
scene.
4D.
How many people do you think are gonna have seizures and go to the hospital?
Well, they actually had people have heart attacks during the 3D for the original Avatar.
Oh,
Do you
come
remember?
on.
Because people were not used to like it being 3D.
Close
like
your
that.
eyes and walk out if you're getting that scared. Like, come on.
You know. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Take care. Geek the movies out. Bye.
Bye.